As many U.S. sports face criticism and in some cases lawsuits over pay-based gender discrimination, one sport is making history by ensuring equal pay for female and male athletes. How did surfing, a sport that at once banned women from competing in one of its biggest events, become the first American-based global sports league to achieve gender pay equality?
It's super cool. It's just crazy that it happened. It's super cool.
When it was announced, I was like, wow, like this is a huge step, not only for the sport of surfing, but for women all across the board.
To understand how big of a deal it is to have equal pay in surfing, it helps to understand what the sport was like for women before equal prize money was announced. These three incidents sum it up pretty well.
In 2016, Jeff Clark, the founder of Mavericks, which is one of surfing's biggest events, defended his decision to ban women from competing in the event in California by saying, quote, "It's not a gender thing, it's a performance thing. We have a really good understanding of who's performing the best, who is pushing the limits, who is going to new levels of performance. Women just aren't there yet." We reached out to Clark to see if this is still his view, but we did not hear back. For the record, as of 2019, Mavericks now allows female competitors. In 2010, top 10 surfer Rebecca Woods said she was dropped by her sponsor Billabong for refusing to wear a bikini while she surfed. Billabong denies pressuring athletes to wear bikinis. Then, in 2018, a photo of two first-place winners, one male and one female, at a junior surf competition in South Africa sparked controversy. In the picture, a young man holds a prize of 8,000 South African rand, while his female counterpart holds a check for half that amount. That same year in Australia, the top man was paid $100,000, the top woman, $65,000. Change began in 2016 when 4 female surfers decided to start the Committee for Equity in Women's Surfing. Their goals? To lift the ban on women at Mavericks, increase the number of female surfing events, and pay parity, among other things.
Their goals were fast-tracked when in 2017, the World Surf League, which is the official governing body of surfing, appointed a female CEO.
Hello.
Goldschmidt made waves in 2018 when she made a big announcement.
Today I'm delighted and very proud to announce that we will be moving forward with fully equal prize money for the men and the women from 2019 onwards.
The new rules apply to any World Surf League event around the world.
We did it because it was the right thing to do, and we felt it was really important for business. Treating everyone equally, it's not just about gender, it's about all walks of life, and we really wanted to walk the walk. We were fortunate enough to be in a position where we could afford it and justify it. It's still an investment for us.
It's an investment that surfing news outlet The Inertia estimates is costing the World Surf League $1.4 million. The WSL did not confirm this number, but Goldschmidt does concede it's a lofty expense.
The men's side of the sport does generate a lot more revenue than the women's, but that's changing. We saw it as an investment, but an investment that would pay off. And it kind of comes down a lot to the numbers as well. You've got to have the audiences there to justify the investment. So for me, that's why, equal prize money is great, but to really unlock that investment, we need to get more people watching us. At the end of the day, that's almost the product that we're selling to the brands. And if there's a fraction of people watching women as there are to the men, then you can't justify paying the same amount. You can sort of try and guilt them into it because it's the right thing to do, but let's make the business case stronger.
And they have a plan for that.
We decided that we wanted to get more young girls participating and active, so we launched a program called Rising Tides, which is about developing the next generation of talent. We've also committed a lot more just to sharing the stories and the history of women's surfing to just get more awareness out there.
The WSL wouldn't provide concrete numbers, but Goldschmidt says they're already starting to see a return on their investment.
The commercial cycle is often a little bit delayed, but we are now seeing brands associate just with the women that want to come on board and support what we're doing off the back of the announcements that we've made, which is great.
And this decision has also had other trickle-down effects.
The number of women you see now in the lineup, which is what we call when you're sort of sitting out there waiting for a swell and waves to come through, is exponentially more than it was in the past. At certain breaks, you just wouldn't see women. They weren't welcome. And now that's few and far between. And often in certain instances, there's more young girls and women than boys out there.
Goldschmidt's hope is that interest in female surfing keeps growing and that people start taking female athletes more seriously.
But the performance levels and the interest in women's surfing is growing exponentially. We've seen it in the last 2 years, and actually our announcement has just kind of turbocharged that.
It's an investment other sports leagues have been hesitant to make. So what's holding them back?
The stated reason is the revenues generated are not equal in each of the sports.
That's Kenneth Shropshire, CEO of the Global Sport Institute at Arizona State University.
Butts and seats is one issue. The argument that sits out there is, well, if you provided equal exposure, you took steps towards equality, much like Title IX, just said you have to do this, that there would be an equality in terms of viewership and those things over time.
It's an issue that has one league in court. U.S. Women's Soccer filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Soccer Federation over gender discrimination in 2019. They argued the men's team would have made $1.1 million if they'd won the World Cup in 2018. The women's team did win it and made less than $300,000 for it. A federal judge dismissed the equal pay portion of the lawsuit earlier this year, arguing the women agreed to that pay structure. What does Goldschmidt think about the gender pay disparity in other sports?
Every sport has different reasons, business models. I think, some sports are struggling to be sustainable. To increase prize money without having the revenue to support it would kind of drive them into the ground. I think some, from a values or just attitude standpoint, are still a little bit in the dark ages.
But the tide may be changing across the sports industry. 84% of sports fans worldwide say they have an interest in women's sports.
As participation of women in pro sports continues to rise, what approach do you think sports leagues should take? Wait for viewership to rise and then invest in equal pay? Or invest in equal pay and marketing and hope that the viewership rises with it? Let us know in the comments. Hi everyone, Fernando Hurtado here. Thank you for checking out the NBCLX YouTube channel. For more videos, click here. And be sure to click the subscribe button right here and join the NBCLX community.